it's okay. I actually like these. Like, I'm pretty calm right now. But I probably do need to, after this, I'm gonna go to sleep because I have to get up for my church's 6 a.m. prayer line. So if you all who are Christian Baptists, if your church has a prayer line as well, let me know, because I recently, I think I did this before, like years ago, but you know, I'm recently just really getting into it, or like doing it and getting up, so I need to go to sleep here soon, because yeah, but hopefully I can pop some melatonin and, you know, go, you know. But this is going to be episode 5, so welcome back to Sweet with a Twist. I'm your host, Skylar Sweet, and we're just gonna get right into it. So I've been on, you know, our season is unfiltered college years, right? Which this has everything to do with college as well. But first impressions, like, where do people stand with those? I personally have always been taught, and then later when I joined Avid, I've always been taught that first impressions mattered. You know, the impression that people get of you the first time they meet you matters. People think that it's judging, it's, you know, being, yeah, just judgy, and it's not. Of course, that's all you have to go on, is to look at, you know, someone's first impression. Like, if it was a bad impression to you, then I'm not gonna look at you, like, I'm not gonna like you, because you didn't give me a good impression. Like, and I'm just meeting you? That's crazy. I think that they do matter. Like I said, grew up, and then in school later on, that they do matter. So you need to come correct the first time. But also, like, when you're just now meeting people for the first time, you should come, I mean, as best as you can. Like, you should be nice, you should be mannerable, you should be respectful. Like, those are basics, right? But I guess if you're not, that just shows who you are as a person and your true character. Because, like, and I know, let me say, people have bad days. Maybe that was just not a great day for you, so that was your first impression to someone, and you're not really like that. So I get that, and maybe you should let that person know, like, hey, I'm sorry for the way I you know, came off. That's not really who I am, yada yada yada, you know. So maybe you should clarify that, because I will say some people can be very, like, she was a, you know, the B word. Oh, she was acting like she was better, and really you were just off that day, and you're really not like that. So I get that. And people who do assassinate people's characters and defamate their people's characters is crazy. So I'm not that harsh on people. I think I really do give people, like, okay, you know, maybe that just wasn't their best day, okay? But I know I've asked my friends, like, what was their first impression of me, and it's funny how a lot of my friends, which they know obviously now is not the truth, but this was like their first impression and how they saw me. But everyone thought that I was either a mean girl, strict, I guess. I was a B word. And I'm like, wow, I look like that to you? Like, and it kind of hurts me, because I'm like, I know that's not me, but do I give that off? And then a lot of people say that I am intimidating, and especially when it comes to guys. My friends have said that I think guys are intimidated by you, and I'm like, huh? Why? Like, I'm really nice. I don't bite. Like, you can come up to me and talk to me. I'm very chill. Like, I'm a sweetheart. Like, how can I be intimidating? But that's what they say. I don't think I come off as intimidating. I think TikTok has also said if people have told you that you come off intimidating, that means you're more attractive than you think. And I'm like, okay. And I just like scroll past those videos. This might apply to you. If people say that you come off intimidating, you actually might be more attractive than you think. So, congratulations. Can we talk about TikTok? TikTok was a huge part of my college years because right when I graduated, or well, before I graduated, whatever, like it was Musical.ly, and then when I did, like it was the last few months of my senior year, that's when they switched to TikTok. And it's crazy because didn't they say if you had a Musical.ly account, your following would like, transfer over to your TikTok account? Well, I guess I didn't remember my password to Musical.ly, and I didn't get those followers back. So yeah, and I kind of miss Musical.ly. I miss when TikTok, when it first came out, people were doing a lot of Musical.ly like videos still to the TikTok sounds. That was the time to be had. You gotta get that H2O in, guys. I really have been so dehydrated. It's crazy. I've been adding, which I've never done this before, but I've been getting like wow. I want to be dehydrated. That's crazy. I've been getting hydration packs, the powder, and just putting it in my water because I don't know. This stuff is taking me out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But no, let's go back to first impressions and people look at them. So I feel that I've made a lot of good first impressions. That's how I feel, right? I don't truly know unless I ask everyone I've ever met, what was your first impression of me? Which I've asked that, like I said. But for the most part, everyone now has come to find out that me being a B, me being a mean girl is not true. Has not been true. So that's all that matters. And oh yeah, another thing is that people said I'm confident. I'm like, ooh, because I give that off. But so I think there's also been a difference between guys and girls on their views of my first impressions to them, because I know like guys could be like, find that as like a very intellectual, deep conversation, but it's really just because I genuinely ask my friends like, because who doesn't sit back and think, oh, we became friends, and think like, oh, I wonder what they thought of me the first time they met me? Who doesn't do that? Surely I'm not the only one. And then you look back and you're like, dang, that's what you really thought of me? Or like when they ask me, I'm like, yeah, that's how I thought of you. But girls, I think, really are the main ones that have said I'm confident, intimidating, mean girl, pretty. But the guys, when I've asked guys this, they were like, oh, you seemed, cool, outgoing, fun, which all those are true. But like, that's what guys have said. yeah. And then some guys were like, well, I don't really look at that. I'm like, okay, but you thought some things about me before you actually got to know me. Am I right? Okay. And then another thing is, like I said, when you have a horrible first impression, and I'm gonna speak on a person that I met, was it last year? I think it was last year. And he rubbed me the wrong way, okay? His first impression, because that was my first impression of him. Like, I've never met this guy before, and I was just meeting him in our, like, little friend group, and did not like it, did not like him, and I haven't liked him since, and I don't like him even more now because of the stories I have heard from my own best friend about this guy. And it's just like, yeah, no, I can't do that. I can't deal with people like that. I don't want to be around people like that. I'm a very nice, outgoing, loving, have fun person. So when someone doesn't give, even faking it, I mean, I don't know, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, what do you get out of being rude, not really talking? Like, what do you get out of that? Like, it was just it. So I'm gonna tell you about this story. So there's this guy, let's just call him dude, what are we gonna say? Jack. Let's just say his name is Jack. And my best friend, and then my best friend's cousin. So we started going, or no, she discovered this place, which is a Cowboys, well, a country club, basically. And she discovered this place back in, okay, she had heard about it, but obviously we weren't of age yet. So we went to this country club for the very first time, like all of us, it was all our first times, back in 2022 for her birthday. It was literally on her birthday. And we went to this club, and it was so fun, it was so lit. I love country music, and I love the vibes. So then the next year was 2023, and she had went so many times in 2023, like a lot. I only went like, I think twice, if not 3 times in 2023. So every time she was going, she would always ask me like, hey, you want to come with us? Like, we're going to the country club. And I was like, no, I can't come. And then the times I did come, it was so fun. Like, it was really just us girls, and then her other friends, which now I have kind of become friends with. And we would meet up, and we got to know each other. And my first impressions of them was they were so cool, they were so nice, they were fun, like nothing, right? Well, then this guy comes into play. So last year we went to this country club again, and it was me, my best friend, and my best friend's cousin. So it was just us girls. So we go there, and then she's like, oh, the other girls are coming. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be lit. It's gonna be a fun night. I'm so hyped. So the other girls, her other friends, come, and I've already met them. We kind of already know each other. We've hung out so much now. So I'm like, and then they're like, oh, and their friend, who is a guy, is coming with them as well. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, So she was like, y'all guys will meet him. Mind you, I'm meeting him for the first time, and so is my best friend's cousin. She's also meeting this guy for the first time. So we're like, okay, cool. Like, I'm down to meet people, new people. So her friends come and we're vibing and we're like, oh, hey girl, hey, the whole. And then we're standing around, we're trying to figure out like what we're gonna do. And tell me why this guy that we haven't met still has not said a word to us. I'm not saying that he's obligated to say something or anything, but he didn't even try to introduce himself. Like, he was already like isolating himself to just my best friend. He didn't even try to say hi to me or to her cousin. Like, it was just like weird vibes. And every time I think she would go in to like introduce him or have him like talk to us, he wouldn't talk to us. So she saw that he wasn't going to introduce himself or like be just nice and say hey to us, So she introduced him to us, and she was like, hey guys, this is Jack, this is, Skylar and my cousin, right? I'm like, hi, right? I'm like, hi. Because he was already giving me vibes. He was already off. He was very standoffish. Like, I was like, okay. But I was still like, hey, And he ignored us. Guys, I am not joking or making this up when I say that we were standing in a group. So we're close, right? And we were talking, and she was introducing us. She was standing like in between him and us. And I'm saying, hey, her cousin said, hi or whatever. And he straight up looked at us and turned his head back to my best friend. I was like, oh, the audacity. So I got him. I checked on that. I was like, okay, I got you. I was like, you don't need to do that again for me to get what you put in now. Like, I got you. I already didn't like your vibe. That just sealed the deal for me. So I was like, okay, whatever. You don't need to talk to me. I didn't want it, but I'm nice enough. Like, but you don't, I don't care. So I was like, we both peeped that and we moved on. So then we eventually get around to finding a table for us to all sit at. So it's my best friend's cousin, me, my best friend, the guy, Jack, and then the other girls were sitting across from us. So we're all sitting around this table, right? Just talking to each other, everything. And we're still in the country club, mind you. Like, the country club doesn't close until 2 a.m. So we're vibing, chilling. I'm on my phone, occasionally, like talking. And then the next thing you know, like a group of guys come up and they're asking my friends to like go dance with them. Like, you want to go dance? So I'm sitting there on my phone. I'm one of those friends that when a group of guys or a guy and we're in a group, I don't think that he's coming up to me, like, but I don't at all. So I'm kind of like not listening or communicating or engaging. So I'm on my phone or minding my business personally. And so that's when a group of guys came up. It was 3 of them. And they were like, okay, one of them asked my best friend, you want to go dance? And I was like, oh my gosh, she should. Like, we were hyping her up, like, go, go, go. And then the other two eventually, like, asked the other girls, I think, to go dance. And so they go dance, and I'm like, yes. And the guy, Jack, the rude guy, is sitting there still, right? And I was like, I looked at my best friend's cousin, like, this is awkward. We both were already not with his attitude. Like, we weren't vibing with him at all. He didn't even try. So we're sitting there, and out the blue, he, like, I don't know, just gets up, and I think he went to, like, go dance or something. So then by the time, like, he does that, my friend finally comes back from the dance that she had with the guy. So she comes back and she sits down, and we're like, how was it? Like, you know, we want to know, right? She's telling us, you know, a little bit about him, how it went and everything. So then another group of guys, like, she asked her to go dance, or I think it was one guy, I don't even remember, asked her to go dance. And so she goes back on the dance floor, and then the guy, Jack, comes back, and he, like, comes back, and my best friend's cousin, and we both looked at him, and he was like, hey. And I just, like, looked at him like that, and I didn't say anything because he already did that. He straight up ignored us, like, straight up, just, like, rude, ignored us. So I just looked at him, and I didn't say anything. I'm not gonna pretend like, no. And then he was saying something, and or asking us where she was or whatever, my best friend was. And I was like, I am not answering. I do not need to talk to you. You didn't care to, you know, yeah, like, I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend with you. No. So my best friend comes back from another dance, and so we're chilling. After that, it was just like, and I tell her there, like, right there, while he's there, because mind you, I don't know this guy, so I'm not obligated to tell him that I don't like him. You know, he's never met me. I've never met him before. This is our first time, like, you know. So I tell my best friend, I'm like, yo, I don't like this guy, like. And so I was like, he's being very, like, he was rude. Like, he didn't talk to us, and then he randomly said something. I didn't say anything, and she was like, I know he's, like, being so rude, like, I don't like that. I was like, just know that I'm not gonna sit up here and talk to him. Like, I don't like him. Like, I don't like what he's doing. I didn't like it. So she was like, I know, I don't like that either. Like, ugh. So I'm like, yeah, just letting you know, I think he's rude. So she understood that because she even saw that. Then to top it off, this is where I said, yeah, I'm done. I'm over this guy. Like, I was trying to give him another benefit, but I'm just done. I never want to meet this guy again. I never want to be around this guy ever again. So this is what topped it off for me. This same night at this country club, my best friend was, okay, so somewhere along that night, we all got on top of a table and we were dancing. So we were dancing on top of the table, like, yes, you know, having fun, vibing. The rest of the crowd was on the dance floor, like, living life. Turn up. So we're getting down from the table because they started playing, like, some other music, and we were like, nah, we're done. Like, we're tired. Let's get down. So I get down. My best friend's cousin gets down from the table. Like, it's like a thin like table, and then it's like the ground, you know what I mean? So we need some help, right, getting down. So I'm putting my hand out, literally my hand is stretched out to my best friend to help her down. So I had my hand out because she was literally reaching for it. As she reaches for it, guess who comes in and like just takes her over, like literally pushed me out the way, was the guy Jack, the rude guy. He comes in and like picks her up from her waist and like, dude, I was like, okay. I literally said that out loud. I know he heard me. I said, oh, okay. I was like, no way did this guy just do that. I already wasn't vibing with you. You already had some audacity. Now you really done lost your damn mind. Like, I was like, yeah, don't ever invite me nowhere where this man is. I was so done. And so I looked and I said, are you serious? And my best friend looked at me and I was like, okay. And ever since then, I have been nowhere near that guy. So that was my first impression of that guy, and let me just tell you, not a fan. Not a fan. Then later, she tells me that that guy, Jack, from that night, actually has a crush on her. So that's why he was acting the way he was acting, because he really has a crush on her and he just didn't care about anybody else. But I was like, that still doesn't give him the right to do that, to treat us like nobodies. And she was like, I know, that's what I hated that. And she was like, I do not like him for that, because my best friend sees me and her own cousin as very important and special people in her life. So if you treat her or people that she really cares about like that, she's not gonna rock with you. And she was like, I hated that. Like, I do not like him for that. And I'm just like, I'm a nice person and I give people benefits of a doubt. And I kind of stretch my kindness and giving people chance after chance. I stretch it a lot. And I think I was still trying to give him something, but that just really said, okay, yeah, you weren't even trying to be respectful or nice or considerate. Like, you weren't even trying. He was coming there that night strictly for her, and he really did not, like, he was rude to everyone. And I just think it was so like he was like entitled. He felt some entitlement to her that night, and he just like kicked us in the face. And I don't like that. You don't obviously have a crush on me and you don't know me, but this is how you go about doing things. And I didn't let him ruin my night, but there was moments that he ruined it, and I said, okay. So I just want y'all guys to know that please make a good first impression. And if you are like that guy and you truly are not, like, that's truly not your character, maybe say something. But he never apologized. He never said like, oh, my bad, like, I'm being rude. Like, he never clarified or tried with us. And I just think that that's something that my kids will definitely not. My kids will not be like that ever. No. If they're like that, I didn't teach them to be that way. And I just think that sucks because it was supposed to be a fun night, which it still was, but it was just, he threw me off. And I was glad when he was leaving early because they left before we left. And I was glad because I was done with him. I was done. But that's my whole point. And in college, it does matter. And it helps having those good impressions because it makes your college experience so much better. To make friends and to know that, you know, you started off on a good foot or whatever. So that's my whole spiel because I'm gonna go to sleep. But I hope y'all guys enjoy this and stay tuned for the next episode. And that was a lot, but we're gonna knock these episodes out, baby. We're gonna knock this season out. I hope y'all guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.